Hey, this is Thrillho with SturdyPine.com. I'm here at Evolution 2013 with S-Kill, the final boss of Dive Kick. How are you doing today?
I'm excellent. This was a pretty amazing evolution.
You have a long history with Capcom, going all the way back to the days of Street Fighter II.
Yes, well, I mean, of course, I began just as a player, as a teenager. I was got into Street Fighter II and fell in love. So from there, I was a competitive player and traveled around playing a lot, and then actually started to help organize big events like this one. And that led to me knocking on Capcom's door, and they eventually offered me a job, and I think you know the rest from there.
And after Capcom, you're currently working with Sony Santa Monica Studios.
Yeah, I'm a lead designer for the external division there, which means we work with outside teams that are making games and try and help them make them as good as they can be and realize their vision, I guess. And I love Santa Monica because if there's one thing that's as exciting to me in video games right now as fighting games, which are always near and dear to my heart, it's a lot of indie games. And Santa Monica works on a lot of incredible indie stuff with really different ideas about gaming. So they did Journey and Unfinished Swan and Sound Shapes and all sorts of really cool, innovative stuff. So that's been really cool, and it stretches out my mind in different directions, so I'm learning a lot.
One of your first games since you worked there was Sony All Stars PlayStation Battle Royale. Is that the correct title, or am I mixing words up?
No, that is exactly, no, it's not it. That's not the correct title, but you're close enough. It's PlayStation All Stars Battle Royale. No, please, it's a mouthful. It's a rival Street Fighter in that regard. I came to the company about 4 months before that game shipped, so it wasn't something I was able to work on deeply. It was sort of, by that point the game is what it is, but we had a ton of fun with it and played it all the time. Like, I don't remember how many hours I put in. Lately I've been busy with a bunch of other stuff, but we're still proud of that game, and it sold really well, and the fans have been, well, it sold well. The fans have been fantastically supportive, and hopefully we'll have some good stuff for them coming.
We don't have to cut this one from the interview, but I'm just curious myself. If you can't answer, feel free. Recently, it was revealed that Dart from Legend of Dragoon was planned to be a DLC character. Can you comment on that?
Yeah, that was some concept art, and they had some models done for it. And anybody who works in game development will tell you there's always a ton of things that you work on that don't make it into the game. It was very early, so it's far from it. It's not like the characters there that we can have a switch that we could throw and release that. So unfortunately, it was just early stuff, not a full character. So yeah, there's many assets that are created in every game that don't make it across the finish line. So very cool character, but didn't come to pass.
Well, Legend of Dragoon is one of my favorites, so I was a little disappointed by that, but I completely understand. Speaking of PlayStation All Stars Battle Royale, get it right this time?
I think so.
All right, good.
I'm starting to. It's been a long day for me, so whatever you want to call it, I follow you.
Starting with your humble beginnings as S-Kill with Street Fighter II, and finally working with a company that helped push forward a competitive drive in game design, and then actually being a lead designer on a project like this. Are you happy with how the game turned in tournament results?
Sorry, which game?
PlayStation All Stars.
Yeah, we had a bunch of fun tournaments for it, so I think it went really well. We were really impressed by the way people played. We'd love to take another crack at a little bit another balance pass. Every great competitive game finds balance passes, so hopefully we'll get a shot to maybe take one more stab at that, and that the fans will be excited for it.
On SRK as S-Kill, you wrote some very famous articles. What is the scrub, the basics of footsies. These have had a tremendous impact on a lot of people coming into the competitive scene and kind of getting a new mindset or trimming down their mindset into something that's a bit more competitive. How do you feel knowing that some of your articles contribute to this?
It's very nice of you to say. It's interesting because they're very old. Well, they're not like ancient, but they're over a decade old for sure. So at the time, I was a very different person. I was writing for a very different audience, but I have a long background in philosophy as well. So I just have a way of trying to analyze concepts and make them clear. And at that time, there was still a lot of discussion. People hadn't really come to cohesive language or cohesive ways of thinking about the game. So I was doing my best to share what me and my friends had learned from playing hardcore for a long time with new people on the internet to try and explain some kinds of concepts that could be helpful to them going forward and avoid certain traps of thinking for themselves. So it's some of them I think are probably pretty dated. Others I think are, every time I watch a tournament, I see people make some of the mistakes that are detailed. Even though the games are completely different and games I couldn't have predicted back then, the mistakes are the same and the traps that you can fall into are the same. And they're mostly traps of the mind rather than execution or anything like that. So yeah, I enjoyed writing those a lot, and it's nice to hear that they've been able to help people.
Well, I was an impressionable sophomore back in 2000. Oh, wow, when was that? 2005, when my cousin showed me some SRK stuff, and those were among the articles that he showed me. And I know Super Turbo is a completely different beast than Marvel 2, but it's definitely helped a lot of people. I can say that from right here.
Thank you very much.
What do you think of their recently announced Ultra Street Fighter 4?
Looks interesting. I'm always happy to see games get a new update and balance pass, and you know, I love some of the characters from Third Strike. I'm a big fan of Rolento, and you know, the new 5th character sounds like it'll be brand new to Street Fighter, so I'm really pumped about that.
Well, thank you so much for your time, Seth.
Thank you.
This is Thrillho with Sturdy Pine. See you later.